Hello everyone, my name is Simon Namde. I'm a data analyst. Welcome once again to my YouTube channel. And in today's class, I am going to take us through one of the most essential tools I told you about in our last class during the introductory aspect of this race. I told us I am going to take you through the most essential tools for data analytics. Today's class, we are starting with Microsoft Excel. Alright, welcome to this Excel tutorial where I will show you how to use pivot table for the powerful data analysis. Today we are going to start with the use of pivot table, and we will now have to see the efficacy of pivot table in our data set. In carrying out our data analysis, pivot table happens to be one of the most essential tools in Excel domain. Today we will be using bakery sales data sets with over 10,000 rows of data to show you how to summarize, analyze, and visualize data sets with ease. And by the end of this video, you will know how to use them like pro. So let's dive right into it. Before we start with the pivot table, we'll first of all import the data into the Excel environment. This is our Excel interface. For us to achieve that, we'll have to click the data menu. When you click on the data menu, you will see options here at the ribbon where you say get data. So when you click on that drop down arrow, you will see varieties of options we have here. We have from file. When you say from file, that means it will take you to your local device, which is your machine or your computer. Then you can go to any format the data is being saved with. So from database, it will take you to any of the database. From Azure, it will take you to any of the days. So this is how it is. So anywhere the source is, this will help you to fetch it from wherever you save it. In our own case, it is from text and CSV. So we click on this. It will now take us to my computer. While we wait, so it has opened, you will see now a dialog box for this explorer will just open. Then I will now go to where I saved it. In this case now, I saved it in this folder I created. It's actually new folder. When you open it, you will see bakery sales data set. Then you import it. Then when you import it, it's trying to facilitate the Power Query, and so this is the first interface for the import. And here we have the ETL. So at this point, I pointed to make sure that I select the entire data set. I wouldn't want that first 200 or thereabouts. I wouldn't want my data to be truncated. As you can see, okay, let's click on the transform to see if there is something we have to clean about the data. Obviously, there should. So the Power Query is now opening. So the data will now open on this Power Query. So these are data now. Okay, I noticed here now that the data doesn't have index number, that is primary key. We have to affix that, like we have to create a primary key for this data. Before then, we have to count to know if our data is complete. So I'm actually counting. Here we have 10,000 rows of data. Okay, so it's actually complete. To add the index column, go to add column menu, then you now see index, then you click on the drop down arrow, then you click on from 1. So you can see now it has given it a unique number. So I want to move it because it's a primary, so I'm moving it to the beginning so that it will appear here. We format it to be tests. So, and we say index for these ones, they are all tests. Then for the unit sold should be okay, unit sold is then for price per unit should be in currency. Total sales, okay, it should be in currency too. So I think it's now Okay. Total sales price per unit, units sold, payment method, the city, then the index number, the product. So let's filter to know what's happening here. So for this, I have to load more. We have all these products here. We have the bread, bun, cake, cookie, and the rest of them. Okay, that's fine. Let's filter this a series. So here we have Abuja, Benin City, Enugu, Ibadan, Jos, Kaduna, Kano, Lagos, Owerri, Port Harcourt. So these are the cities. We have the bakeries. So now this is the payment method. For the payment method, we have by cash, credit card, mobile payment. That's fine. Unit sold, everything seems to be good. So if you don't have any other thing to do, to format, to do anything, so what you do is just to, if you want to give it a name, you give it a bet. In my case, I will leave it like this. I will go back to home menu, then go to close and load. So it will now load on my Excel. So it's actually loading, and now we have a very beautiful data set. The essence of pivot table that we are going to talk about or use in this series, it's everything is just summarized. That is, everything is counted as a summary. Okay, before we start building a pivot table, let's take a quick look at the data sets. Our bakery data cells contain the following columns. Number one, you could see the index column, or better still, the primary key. So that's column that is having the unique value of the product. So after that, you see the product name. After that, you see the city where we have locations for these products. So we have various bakeries across the state of Lagos, Kano, Abuja, Kaduna, Ibadan, Enugu, Owerri, and Jos. So, and we have the following column we call the payment method, how clients, the method they use for their payments. So we have about 3 payment method: the mobile payment, the cash, and the credit card. So we have the units sold, some of them 5274, then the price per unit, and the total sales. Okay, creating our first pivot table. So I'm going to show us how to create the first pivot table here. So for us to achieve that, just click on any cell. So step number 1, you click on any cells we have here, then click on insert menu, then you will see pivot table. Sometimes you will see this recommended pivot table, but this is the main one we are talking about. So you click on it. When you click on it, there will be a dialog box, and it will now highlight the table name we are talking about. Then when you look at the background, you will see that the table is highlighted already. Then you say, yeah, new worksheet. You can say add this data to the data model if you wish. If you don't, you can just leave it. It has nothing to do with that. So you click on OK. When you click on OK, you wait until the table is created. So we have our pivot table created. Then when you look at the pivot table fields, so these are pivot table fields, and these are the tables. We are the columns we have for this table. So we have our index product as we have them there. So this is one of the ways of creating pivot table. Okay, now we have to build our pivot table. So we just created a pivot table, and we haven't done anything. It's still empty. When I say we created pivot table, doesn't mean this is how it's going to appear, or maybe we are going to stop here. Like I said, this table shows the total sales of each bakery product in every city we have here. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to create the summary of the whole products and the sales. So what I will do do now, I'll go to my pivot table field, then I will drag, because I want to know how the products are being sold in every city. So the city is going to be my dependent variable. So I'm taking it to the row. So immediately I drag it from here to the row, you have seen that it has calculated the city. These are the cities involved in these data sets. Now I'm going to drag the products. I'm going to drag it to the column side. So I have just dragged it to the column side, which is the column side. So look at here, they now appeared. Remember, this one is the row. It's here. And the column, these are the products, and they assume the columns. The next thing I'm going to do now is to drag my total cell. I'm going to drag it to the value, drag it to this place. So it has, have you seen the summary we are talking about? It has done the calculation for us. For Abuja, we have this product that is being sold. The total, this is the count of the sum of these products. So for Abuja, this is what is being sold for. Then bread in Abuja, this is what we got. For cake in Abuja, this is what we got. Then for the Benin City, this is what we got, and the rest of them. So that's how it continues. We have seen now that it has summarized the product. So we have three variables here: independent variable and the dependent variables. The independent variable now here is the city. Then the dependent variables are the product and the total sales. You have already created your first pivot table. This table, like I said, shows the total sales of each bakery product in every city. So changing the summary functions. Right now, the pivot table is summing the sales, as you can see. Now, but what if you want to count the number of transactions instead? Then what we'll do in this case is, remember, I'm trying to customize the pivot table. We've created a pivot table already. So as we drag to this dragging city from this table field to the row, and product to column, the total sales to the value area. So that's actually why we can see this table like this. Now we want to format this table as an average, total sum, or even count, anything, anyhow you want to do it. That's actually what I'm trying to explain to us. So how do we get that sorted? Just select any of the cells where we have the data, then right click on it. When you right click on it, you point to value field settings. Then you will see either count, average, maximum, minimum, standard deviation, and variance, and the rest of them. So we want to do count of all these things now. So what we'll do is count, and we say okay. So it's doing the count of the products. So for Abuja, bread is sold 96 loaves are being sold. For this bun, 98 pieces. Cake, 87 pieces. For the cookie, 103. That's that. If you want to check the average, like I said, just click on any cell, then right click, and then point to value field settings. Then when you point to value field settings, so for the average, you can click on the average and then do okay. It has calculated this average for you. So this is average. Then if it's too much, you can just do the format. Can format it to how you want it. For this, I will say okay, average, I'll just put one decimal place. Then we say okay, so it's now fine. So I will go further to do sorting. I want to sort it. The essence of sorting is just, let's say you want to see which city that has the highest sales. How do we do the sorting? Now just click on any of the cell, and then you see sort from largest to the sorting from largest to smallest. I want to sort now. I'll click on any of the city name. Let's say Port Harcourt, I'll click here or here, and then I'll click on sort from there to this. But I want to click sort the grand total. I want to sort the grand total. So we sort the grand total. You see that Benin City came first, generated the highest revenue in Benin City, followed by Owerri, then followed by Ibadan, followed by Jos, Kano, Abuja, Port Harcourt, Enugu, Kaduna, Lagos. Then if I want to filter it, okay, maybe I want to filter by the payment method. Just drag it to filter place here. Then it has appeared here. I'll go to here. Maybe I'll filter by cash. People that bought with cash have filtered it. Total cash of 6,777.4 for Benin. Then Ibadan came second, and then 6,517. Now if we filter again with credit card, Kaduna is coming up. Then for mobile payment, just now came first. Most people are using their phone to make transfer. Even at Owerri too, we have most people use phone. So that is how we go about all this. I have shown you how you be able to customize your pivot table by changing summary functions from sum to average to count and the rest of them. Then I have shown you how to sort the data from largest to smallest. Is either you want to sort based on the city name, or you want to sort based on the product, or you want to sort based on the total sales. So whichever way you feel like you are fine, it's good. I equally shown you how to filter your data. So I use the payment method as a yardstick. Okay, at this point now, what we'll do now is to create the visual for this table. As you can see, I moved product from the column to the value so that it will be a sort of simple, because I want to create just a simple visual. What we do is click on any of the cells, but before that I want to sort it again. Click any of the cells under sum of total cells, and then I just sort it from largest to smallest. So I select any cell from here, click on pivot table analyze, then I will now click on pivot chart. Is the column chart that I want. I'll now click OK. So it has been created. These are charts. So I want to format this chart. I don't want this. I want to hide it. So for these values here, they are the material. I want to remove them. For my legend, the grid lines, they are not necessary. The legend, they are not necessary. Expand it. We have it like this. So that is for this. We can visualize it. Benin City, Owerri, Ibadan, Jos, Kano, Abuja, Port Harcourt, Enugu, Kaduna, and Lagos. So we have our visuals now. They are all live. So the next thing we want to do is to add a slicer. This slicer helps to easy navigations instead of maybe trying to click on Ibadan to know the count of products in Ibadan, or the total sum of sales in Ibadan or Owerri or thereabout. We better create slicer so that it will help us achieve that. So how do you create slicer? Then click on any of the cells, then go to pivot table analyze. You go see insert slicer. When you click on it, you want to insert slicer based on city. You want to insert slicer based on payment method. We want to insert slicer based on product. Our sliders are here, so we want to format the sliders. Right click on the slicer and point to slicer settings. I want to remove the header, so I don't want that header to show. So I want to, okay, for strata, bring it down, then expand it. So it will give me, then for this one, I will do the same thing, slicer setting. I don't want it to display the header. I want the column to be, okay, 3 is fine. 3 is fine. I'll bring it down here. For this one, oh gosh, no, I'll cancel it. So for this one, I'll go to slicer settings. Do not display the header. So for the column, I will use C5. So now it will now be easier for us to navigate. If you want to know the total sum of products or sum of sales from Abuja, you click on Abuja, so it will give us Abuja. So Abuja is 17,871.0. That's the grand total, and this is the count of it. So for Benin City, to give us 20,151.1, and this is the count of total sales. For Owerri, so we have 18,948.8, and total count of sales 141. So that's how it is. And if you other one, you can clear from this. Then people that paid with cash, if you see in Benin, we have 6,000 people paid with cash in Benin compared to other states. So with credit card, let me just push this in somehow like this, so that this one then will appear. Then with credit card, people that paid with credit card, Benin the 77,000. The importer card, it was less. For mobile transfer, just is stopping, followed by Owerri and the rest of them. Then clear the formatting, clear it. For bread, we have this, cake, we have this, and the rest of them. So that is how it works. We've been able to insert and create our slicer, and then the visuals for the pivot table. All right, okay, that's it. Yeah, you have just learned how to master pivot table in Excel using the bakery sales data. Whether you are summarizing data, maybe featuring or visualizing trends, pivot table is actually your go-to tool for powerful analysis. So if you found this video helpful and insightful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Yeah, I would love to hear how you are using pivot table in your own work. Also, make sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming tutorials on data analysis. Thank you for watching, and I see you in the next video.